We know several things about the drivers of NASCAR. They're fast, famous, and filthy rich. But what no one knows is, should we consider these left turners real athletes? It is a question that has haunted racing communities since the beginning of time.
Even NASCAR's biggest fans have mixed feelings on the question.
The sport's freaking dangerous. They are athletes, yes sir.
Wannabe athletes.
Absolutely, yes.
Complex questions sometimes require complex answers. When it came to my own gut feeling, I was in the middle. The first thing I even noticed about NASCAR was that most of the drivers' wifeys were way hotter than the drivers themselves, which made me think athletes. However, I also realized that over the course of an entire race weekend, the drivers never showed their arms, which made me think wannabes. There was really only one way to find out for sure, and that was to use the objective scrutiny of science. Driver Kyle Busch is a fighter.
If he wants to play those games, he's going to get hurt.
Shit talker, and most importantly, he's a winner. He represents everything that is good about racing. Using Kyle as my case study, I prepared the patented Pressley Performance Probe to retrieve the necessary data to determine if NASCAR drivers are real athletes once and for all. But before we reach my final hypothesis, let's review the data I had already collected. Immediately upon entering the room, Kyle Busch showcases his balance, agility, and presence of mind by cleanly bypassing my first obstacle, point athlete. However, being an athlete is not all physical. For example, all true athletes respect and look up to the greats, such as Michael Jordan, something I noticed Kyle Busch does not do. Point wannabe. In my years as a researcher, I've also noticed that the elite performers tend to look down on nerds. Watch Kyle here as he blows right by mathematician Pythagoras without taking any time to look down on him. Not a good sign. Lastly, real athletes are always looking for a competitive advantage. You'll notice here that before taking a seat, Kyle takes a moment to learn more about the performance product conveniently placed in his chair. Point athlete. While all these data points were relevant, none of them were as crucial as the one I was about to collect.
Are NASCAR drivers athletes?
What do you think?
I'm not sure it matters what I think.
Well, I'm not sure it matters if I tell you.
What do you believe?
Out of all the factors taken into consideration when determining whether NASCAR drivers are real athletes, belief is the most important. What one believes they are, they will undoubtedly become.
My belief is that not every Joe can jump in a race car in 160 degrees and make it go 200 miles an hour and make the job done. So I would say we are a form of an athlete.
And there you have it. NASCAR drivers are a form of athlete. Not to be confused with former athletes, NASCAR drivers are a form of athletes for the sole reason that they believe they are. When it comes to belief, there is no emotion or data point more powerful. If you believe in Santa, gifts show up under your tree. If you believe in the freedom of speech, your words will not be oppressed. And most of all, if you believe you're an athlete, investigative journalist Caleb Pressley will call you one.
Still suspicious they don't show their arms.